The purpose of this video is to show how you can treat and manage fire ants on the land that you own or manage. You can self-manage your land for fire ants by following 3 key steps. First, treat your land with fire ant approved bait. Second, look for and know how to identify fire ants. And the third, if you think you found fire ants on your land, you must report to Biosecurity Queensland. When treating your land for fire ants, you should always have a treatment plan in place. This will help you identify any safety and personal protective equipment you need while handling the bait, what equipment you'll need to use applying the bait, most suitable type of bait for your land, and when, where, and how often you'll need to treat. When handling fire ant bait, read and follow the instructions on the product label, safety data sheet, and any relevant APFMA permits before each use. Wear protective clothing which includes chemical-resistant gloves, boots, long-sleeve shirts, and long trousers. Wash your hands after handling fire ant bait and wash your clothes after each day's use. There are 3 types of fire ant baits you can use to treat your land. These are insect growth regulators, which are called IGRs for short, fast-acting insecticides, which may also be called toxicants, and some bait products are a combination of both. IGRs contain either S-methoprene or pyriproxyfen and are most commonly used for broad-scale treatment over large areas. They work by sterilising the queen fire ant, preventing new ants from maturing into adults. This process can take up to 3 to 4 months. Fast-acting fire ant baits or toxicants are made up of indoxacarb and are generally used for spot treatment directly around visible fire ant nests. This process will achieve a reduction in nest activity within 1 to 4 weeks and full colony death expected soon after. Check our website for a full list of approved fire ant baits. Fire ant bait is in a granular form and should be applied either by a hand shaker, a hand spreader, or a hopper attached to a motor vehicle such as a UTV or tractor. Before choosing your equipment, ensure it is suited to the location and conditions of the treatment site. For example, small areas of land such as households and spot treatments can be applied using a handheld shaker. Small to medium-sized areas less than 1 hectare are best treated with a handheld spreader, and large areas best treated with a hopper attached to a slow-moving vehicle. Your equipment must be calibrated before use and on a regular basis to ensure correct rate per hectare is achieved and not exceeded. Most IGR baits have a very low application rate of 2 kilograms per hectare. If you are using a handheld spreader, refer to the treatment guidelines on how these can be modified to get the correct application rate. For accuracy, you'll need to know the swath of your spreader and your walking or driving speed. This ensures you get a consistent and even application of bait. Using a GPS to track your treatment lines can also help when applying bait. If you already have a hopper or are planning to buy one, ensure that it can be calibrated or easily modified to achieve a very small application rate suitable for fire ant bait. Contact your equipment manufacturer for more information. Once you have selected your equipment, fill your spreader or hopper with the bait product. Ensure that you do not overfill it. For handheld spreaders, rotate the handle and move the spreader in a side-to-side motion in front of your body while walking at a brisk pace. This will ensure a good even application of bait is applied. Treatment areas should be identified in your treatment plan and marked on a map. High-risk areas for fire ants should be focused on when treating your land. These areas include cleared or disturbed land, including fields, paddocks and parks, areas where organic material is stored, including soil, mulch and hay, machinery or equipment that transport organic materials, areas around buildings including lawns, gardens and footpaths, and edges of cultivated land including fence lines. Areas of dense bushland and hardstand areas such as gravel car parks may not require treatment but should be checked regularly. To ensure that you get the safest and most effective results, here are a few rules you should follow. Bait should be applied during the warmer months between September and May. Summer, when temperatures are extreme, fire ants will not forage above ground during the hottest parts of the days, so treating in the afternoon from 2 p.m. is the best time. Do not apply bait if the ground is wet or if rain is expected, Do not apply bait before or after mowing or disturbing the treatment area. Ensure bait is applied at a sufficient distance from water sources to prevent runoff. Best practice is to leave an 8-metre buffer around water sources for ground application. Avoid applying fire ant bait directly to food crops. Bait should be spread to inter-row areas only. While fire ant bait is safe for livestock, bait must not be applied to areas where poultry can access areas after treatment. Always refer to product label or app for the permit before applying your bait. After treatment, you'll need to record the following information: the dates of treatment, the name of the baits applied, the parts of the premises that were treated, and this can be done using a map of your land with the treatment areas marked on it, and any comments or observations made about the treatment or the treatment area. You should keep these records for a minimum of 2 years. When you receive your fire ant bait, it may arrive in a shaker, 4 kilo bucket, or a 12.5 kilo bag, and should be stored in its original packaging. Always store your bait away from sunlight, high temperatures and humidity as much as practical. Make sure the storage area is not accessible to children, pets, livestock or pest animals such as rodents. Once opened, you can reseal it, but if the bait is to be removed from its original packaging, it should be stored in a sealed, opaque container bearing a copy of the product label. Dispose of any empty bait containers as per labelled instructions. The second part to managing fire ants on your land is to know how to look for and identify existing fire ant colonies. You should regularly look for signs of fire ants when moving around your property, particularly around high-risk areas outlined earlier in the video. Fire ant nests are easy to spot during the winter months, but it's important to note that only fire ant nests that are well established are visible. The shape and size of fire ant nests depends on the soil type and the colony size, and fire ants can appear as dome-shaped mounds or be flat and look like small patches of disturbed soil. Fire ant nests have no obvious entry or exit holes. If you're looking for fire ants on your property, make sure you wear a long sleeve shirt, long pants and enclosed shoes. Understanding how to provide first aid for yourself and others is important. Fire ant venom can cause an anaphylactic reaction and may need medical treatment. If you find a suspect nest, you can use a long rod or stick to gently prod the nest and observe from a safe distance. If the ants swarm and become aggressive, appear coppery brown in colour with a darker abdomen, and come in a variety of sizes ranging from 2 to 6 millimeters, they could be fire ants. Avoid damaging the nest, as this may cause the fire ants to relocate. The third step to self-managing fire ants on your property is to report. If you suspect that there may be fire ants on your land that you own or manage, you must report to the National Fire Ant Eradication Program within 24 hours. Call us on 13 25 23 or jump on our website. In the meantime, restrict access to the nest to minimise health and safety threat to your family, staff or visitors, and do not disturb the nest. Do not move any organic material from the property until the area has been treated.